Hello, my dear students. I am Nimbalkar sir, and you see, while just thinking for some more time, and with or on the basis of my 23 years of experience, I had gone through or met with thousands of students, those who just what my ex-students and many more. So one thing that I desperately just came into my observation that students, you see, out of 10 students, out of 10 students from any standard of, you say, standard 9 or 10, if you ask which subject that you feel somehow difficult, so it is my guess or it is my opinion, it may not be, or it may be true, or that what you will disagree, but this statement what I am quoting now over here, it is completely based on my observations, or you say my experience. Out of 10, 7 to 8 students will say that geometry is somehow difficult or a difficult subject for them. And in this geometry, again, if you see which chapter that you find most difficult, then again I guess somehow I just would honestly say that it is not true for all, but 7 to 8 means 70 to 80% of the student will say that the circle is the chapter where you see they will find some difficulties to understand. So according to, you say, my experience, you say, boys, I'm telling to you that this is not true, because you see some you say some basic concept related with this circle, if you got clear that, I definitely, and if it is cleared once, then you see how to apply when solving you say some exercise or some problem. It is somehow skillful, not too much skillful, but you say application, yes, no doubt it is very important. So I decided to, you see, to clear all these ideas in detail. In classroom also, we do a lot of exercise over here, a lot of things, but you see, if it is get recorded, then the students will get somehow very easy to understand. Why, if they are not getting clear all the points, they can repeat, they can, what we say, make a rewind of that video, and they can just try to understand this concept deeply. So you see, frankly speaking and honestly speaking, to make these videos is you say the complete motto of I just do care of my all dear students exist, those who are just with me now, or those who are my ex-students. I don't want to, means this is obviously, I'm very again honestly say to grow the channel, to make more subscriber, or to earn some money. This is absolutely is not my motto. So I do not just concentrate on the gesture and somehow the type, what is the quality of video editing and everything, because I just want to transfer the content what I have and what I do somehow in my classroom to teach my students. So very frankly, I'm saying I'm just making these videos only and only for my dear students. So let's start with the basic concepts of the circle. I definitely, I just very confident about this. If once you just get cleared all the concepts, then it will be very easy for you. So this is somehow basic concept. So what is circle? So circle is nothing but you see the locus of all points which are equidistant from the center. Equidistant. And what I just made the word locus, L-O-C. Locus means a set of points, set of all points which are equidistant from a certain point, what we call as a center. So you know that when everybody, those who just what since from I think so from standard fourth, these concepts are there, but only this is the part of or the way of you say explaining any subject. I do believe that the student should start from the basic. So this is what a circle, and just excuse or you forgive me somehow if this circle is not proper, because I'm not using any prop or property or that one, but just I try to just what tell the basic concept of this circle. So this is what we say, this is called circumference, you know that. Then it is a radius, you know that. Then if you say if this line is lama, this is a diameter. The 2 points joining the line of any two distinct point on the circle or sorry on circumference is called chord. Then you see the line which touches to the circle in only single point is called tangent. And I think so. You see that boys, if you, I think so. This line which cuts the circle in two distinct point. I think so. You may not gone through this line. So anybody knows this? What it is? Guess that what it is? It is a second. Yes, it is correct. If you guess it correctly. So this is second. And all you see, these are you say initial or you say very basic concept of this circle. Now, for this topic, what we are going to do, somehow you see, I may require to make 4 or 5 consecutive videos because there is a limit of a time and you say the data that what we are going to use. If it becomes a long, then it also takes a very long time to upload, and therefore you see we will just make. I don't know exactly how much videos will be required, but 3 to 4 or 4 to 5 sessions of this will clear all these things, all these ideas clear. So initially we'll start the theorems on this, basic theorems on the circle. So obviously you know that wise theorem is also many. I am not many students you say feel again theorems. To prove these theorems is somehow very tedious and very long, lengthy and irritating methods of that. But you see theorem, this is not true, and many SSC or CBSE board, they will definitely ask 1 or 2 theorems directly. They give only statement and then they will ask to prove it. So theorem basically is the concept of making one statement or even a principle, or you may say principle, and just to go and just prove some evidences or give the proofs or evidences in order to just you say justify your statement. So if I just give one example to you to explain what it is theorem in a very simple, or you can say in the local language. So if A and B are 2 persons and we have to prove that they are good friends. This is what first very initially I said that one, this is not connected with the geometry, but my style of teaching is to just elaborate all this somehow strong or somehow lengthy or somehow difficult concepts in a simple way. So you see, imagine this one. So it may be, again I am telling to you that this you will never find in any book. This is of my whole concept. I am just I am not given any, or I can not say somehow it is true or not, completely true or not. But just you try to understand. If you say this statement, if I want to prove that A and B are the 2 persons and they are good friends, so what we will do? in order to prove this statement true, then I will just give some characteristics of these two, or whatever my observation regarding with these two persons. So if you say A and B are students and they are just studying in the same class or in the same school, we can say. Again, it is not a condition that if they are two friends but they are different from different school. No, it can be possible. But these observations, again, you say second, if you say ki their likings and dislikings, likes and dislikes. Likes and dislikes are, you say, obviously you say likes and dislikes. Means if A just like to play the football, and if B also somehow take an interest to play and watch the games and everything. So what will happen over there? They will match their likings, and therefore you see that can be the reason that they are good friends. Third one, you say again, you say intellectual part. Intellectuals, if you compare, then if you say that it is again not always true, but you say there is a proverb: birds of a feather flock together. What it means, boys? This is the same that one. Those who are having same interest or same nature, they just always like to live together, or like to just have their friendship together. So you see, these are some characteristics. What I am saying to you, this may or this conclude that A and B are good friends, or maybe a good friends. So in the language of geometry, if I want to try, you see that how this example relates with the theorem. So whatever that they are good, if A and B are two persons, they are good friends. If this is my statement, or if A and B are two persons, and I have to prove that. To prove is they are good friends. So this is called a statement of the theorem. Then it is given A and B are two persons, and in this, to prove this, whatever that qualities I gave, so these are nothing but the steps of a proof. And then you see, if I make the conclusion again, and I prove that they are good friends. So this is a very simple example, boys. With the help of that, you can understand this one. So in order to do that, so in geometry, the theorems, this is not too much easy like what I gave the example. Only thing that what I just give you to, in order to understand this concept clearly. So in geometry, whatever the statements, if you want to prove, so this statement can be proved that by using some properties or some basic Euclid's, what we say, the Euclid's concepts, Euclid's geometry model. In Euclid geometry, that we saw some what we call them as the theorems. So on the basis of this, we have to just give a proof to prove your statement true. So these proofs, or these you say Euclid's postulates, we can take that under consideration that they are true. So it need not to prove it again. So on the basis of this, we have to go step by step and then prove the theorem. So say circle, for the circle, again there are so many things, boys, but I will take that first theorem, a very important theorem of perpendicularity or perpendicularity theorem. Very simple theorem it is, and this can be proved by using somehow you say very simple steps. So what the theorem is? The first theorem is perpendicular drawn from the center bisect the chord. So this is the main theorem. So this theorem can be asked for 3 or 4 marks. So only statement is given, or you say they will also they can also ask that prove the perpendicularity theorem of the radius and chord of the circle, or they may give this statement and just illustrate this statement with some proof. So in order to that, what is a very simple thing is there. If you draw the circle, you draw a circle, then you just take a chord. If this is an AB, if this is the center O, and if OM is a perpendicular, OM is a perpendicular drawn from the center to the chord, and you see this is the figure, and you see your theorem is to be illustrated in 3 steps. So what it is, first step is given. In this given, you can say you can write this one in the one or two statement key. This is the circle with the center O, and AB is the chord. AB is the chord, and OM is perpendicular to chord AB. And you see given, and then to prove you can say what to prove. It bisect the chord. That means you see AM is the part of a chord. AM equal to MB. AM equal to MB. So by using some properties, we can prove this theorem very easily. So what you say, in order to draw the construction, what the construction you have to join AO and OB. Join, you can say, you will have to write each and everything over here, OA and OB. OA and OB. So in this you see what could be the next step over here. You see that in triangle. Now you see these are the 2 triangles, and you know that very simple theorem is that you might be known that one, but this is first step. Then again we will go for somehow detailed theorems of the next. So in triangle, you see this is that. Then you will start your proof. Now you can say in a triangle, which are the 2 triangles? You can say OMA and OMB. So these are the 2 triangles. You see that OA and OB are the radius of the same circle. OA segment, or you say segment OA congruent to segment OB. You have to prove the reason for that radii of same circle. Then you can say you say OM perpendicular to AB. Therefore, this must be a right angle. If this is a right angle, then this must be a right angle. So we can say that angle OMA congruent to angle OMB. This is what? This is because of what? Our construction. This is what we constructed, OM perpendicular to AB. So you see, these 2 things are just what we showed. Now you see, this is, if this is 90 degree, then OMA, triangle OMA and triangle OMB are a right angle triangle. So this you can prove that one key. This is, if this is given construction and it is equal to 90 degree, you can say, then both triangles becomes a right angle triangle, and therefore you see OM congruent to OM congruent to OM. Why? Because you see that common side. So we know that if this is a right angle triangle, then we have proved that OA equal to OB. So that is an hypotenuse. That is an hypotenuse. And OM, what we said. So you can give this equation. There is a method of 1, 2, and this 3. These are also stepwise method of to give the numbers to your statements. And then from 1, 2, and 3, you can say from equation 1, 2, and 3. What we say? These 2 triangles, triangle OMA and true triangle OMB by hypotenuse side test, or this is the word used in SSC stream, and we can say that CBSE right angle test, or there is another word that used, but the same meaning is same, that this is a right angle test or hypotenuse side test. These two triangles are congruent, but yet our job has not finished. We have to prove that AM equal to MB. So directly, if two triangles are congruent, then we can say that by CPCT, or again there is two words that were used by different stream. So somebody says that it is CSCT or CPCT. So we proved that AM equal to MB. So again, with the help of this, we can say that this statement has been proved. OM perpendicular drawn to the chord bisect the chord. So this is very simple. You see, very simple theorem was there. Again, in short, in somehow within 1 or 2 minutes. So if you want to take that one, you can take the screenshot for that. If you want to see in detail steps or something, and then we'll prove the converse of this theorem. Converse of this theorem. So what the converse means again? The converse means, you say exactly ulta in simple, or in a simple or very local language. What I am saying, exactly ulta. So what it is again? If you see the theorem of converse of this theorem. So what the converse says? Converse says that if a line or a segment joining center of a circle and midpoint of a chord, So if the line or segment joining center of the circle and midpoint of the chord is perpendicular to chord. See the statement or the vice versa. In first original theorem, what we say, the perpendicular drawn, it was given, and we have to prove that that perpendicular bisect the chord. Here, exactly reverse things are given. They are saying that if this is a circle and if this is a chord, and they are saying this is not perpendicular, we will have to prove it. But this is line joining center of the circle and midpoint of the chord. Let this M is the midpoint of a chord. So it has been given. Now what we have to prove? This angle OMB or angle OMA is a perpendicular. Is a very simple step. Again, I am not going in detail somehow to write the given and whatever the construction. Construction is again same. Join OA and OB. And this is what you need to write in detail. And what to prove? To prove that either angle OMA or angle OMB equal to 90 degree. So this we have to prove. Now again, same thing here to prove in the statement or in the proof in proof, that what we have say in triangle. Again same, OMA and triangle OMB. Again, which steps are to be there? You see it again. OA equal to OB, segment OA congruent to segment OB. Again, you know that reason, the radius of the same circle. Again, we'll have to write that one each and every, because you say examiner or that see, especially these things, what if you have written or not, and there is one you say limit or one is a criteria after or above that, if you score somehow, so then you are the next people, or you say moderator, they will check your paper and they will find the mistakes that what you have done, and they will just lose your minus half or 1 marks, and so that will be in your, you will be in complete loss. So you try to, whenever you write rough also, then you try to just mention all these steps very clearly. Segment OA, again we'll come to the segment OA congruent to segment OB. Segment OM congruent to segment OM. This is common side. This is segment 2, and then we say that segment AM congruent to segment MB. Why? It is given. It is a given. So again, from 1, 2 and 3, from 1, 2 and 3, you can say that triangle OMA congruent to triangle OMB by SSS test, triple S test of congruence. And if this is, again, our target has not been achieved now, just now, if these two triangles are congruent, we showed that one by triple S test or SSS test. So if these two triangles are congruent, then we can say it is, there are triangles, two triangles, each of having, you say, 6 parameters, 3 sides, 3 angles. So out of that one, you know that if 3 of the 6, if we show congruent, then by the test we can show this, and remaining 3 or remaining 6 of 2 triangles are definitely be congruent. So why we can say that key angle OMA congruent to angle OMB, what we can say, CPCT or CACT. CACT. What is long form of that? You know that key congruent parts, corresponding parts of congruent triangle, or corresponding angles of congruent triangle, CACT. So if these two triangles are congruent, okay, then I can make the statement that sum of this angle OMA plus angle OMB equal to 180 degree. Equal to 180 degree. Why I made this statement? Because they are linear pair. They are linear pair. So if these are linear pair, and we just proved that this OMA congruent to OMB. So instead of this OMB, if I write OMA only, so angle OMA plus angle OMA. Why I write that? Why I wrote that OMB instead of OMB, OMA? Because both these two angles are congruent, that we just showed even in earlier step. So equal to 180 degree. Obviously this is nothing but 2 of angle OMA equal to 180 degree. If 2 is multiplied over, if it is just what transferred over there, then angle OMA is equal to 180 upon 2, and that is equal to 90 degree. So this statement, we say, this statement proved that this OM is perpendicular to AD. OM perpendicular to. So this is the proof, boys. So you say by step. Many students having, you say, I'm also having today, or just in this year also, we have many students, those who do not take the help of these geometrical steps, they write their proof like an essay. So in this, you say, this is also one of the method, but it is very, you say, rude or inconvenient method for the examiner to assess your whatever you wrote. So you take the steps, you just give the numbers, provide the justification by which property, by which rule, by which principle you wrote that step, and then again finally you need to show the whatever the statements in the proof. So this is you say very simple theorem of the success. This was no doubt very simple. 9th CBSE, 9th SSC, 10th SSC, 10th CBSE are having some major and some difficult theorems, but step by step we are going to see that in detail. That is my best to try. I will try my best to explain you somehow very easily, and I guarantee to you that if you just one or two times, if you see that repeatedly, definitely you will be get benefited. Thank you for hearing me, and very soon we'll I will record another video, and